Hey everybody, it's Atheist for the Cause here, and I've got an article review for you. This is an interesting article that's about an army vet who's beaten to death after saving two teens on CNN. So he was 62, and basically the moral of the story here is there were two teens that were randomly attacked by a homeless man, and one of the teens was unconscious on the ground. So this man's who was living out of his vehicle at the time to work and send money back home and eventually buy a house with his fiance. He got out to help the teens who, like, one would have definitely died if he didn't step in. And unfortunately, the homeless man then killed him. And then when the police showed up, the homeless man injured one of the police. And it was just a real unfortunate situation, and you might say, I think there are a lot of feminists who would be like, this is an example of toxic masculinity because take a look, the predator here was a man, but then they won't give the victim here any credit. Here's a man who fought in the military, got home, then lives out of his car to support his family, and he was living in a different city. And then he gets he sees two teens being attacked, steps in, and he dies. And is this toxic masculinity? It's pretty disgusting. How, is this an example of, a patriarchy where this man, did he have it, so much better than women, where he had all the power? Because, he had the power to make more than, and I don't even actually know that he was making more than the family back home, but I'm assuming that's why he was working out of his car. And so he goes and, on average, men make more, right? So it doesn't matter that he's living out of his car to make his money and then send it back home. Because, the money he sends back home for his family to live on, that counts as him making the money in their statistics. That counts as a man making the money. The woman at home who might not even be working, she's not making anything. So this is a version of the patriarchy. This is toxic masculinity because there was a man who attacked someone. And we'll just completely ignore the good deeds. So this is why a lot of men's rights activists like me have a huge problem with feminists. And now CNN actually did a pretty good job with this story. And like where there were male victims, they actually described them as male victims, which is pretty surprising. And because a lot of times they'll fail to point out when there's a male victim that he's male, but they'll point out when a victim is female. So this is a step up in terms of the media coverage. But if you really take the feminist arguments and apply them to a story like this, you can figure out pretty quickly that feminism in the, if you want to call it radical third wave or whatever, it's the prevailing feminism in today's society that has the power, and it's based on an ideology that's just complete bullshit. And this is what's being taught in universities. Politicians have this stance, and it's just ridiculous. I'd encourage people, listen to what feminists are saying. You don't even have to take it from me. Go and talk to feminists. Listen to what they say about men. Think about this story and apply it, and see if they're arguments are matching reality. That's all I've got to say about this. This is really sad. Have a good one.